Wizard101 needs to bring side worlds back to the game. This is one of those things that I've been feeling. It's been festering. It's been growing. I wanted to make a video about this for a really long time. We chose the scene properly. We're in the greatest side world ever, Wisteria. But I wanted to talk about the neglect that side content has gotten in this game, especially in the format that Wisteria, Grizzleheim, and Tusk took, which is in the form of a world. We just don't get these anymore, and I want to talk about what happened to them, and I want to talk about why I think they need to make a comeback. I think one, and this is just something that maybe some people don't care about, but I do think is really worth mentioning. I feel like side worlds give the biggest opportunity for whoever's making the game, the plot of the game. It's giving them an opportunity to actually build the universe around the wizard. Wisteria was the first time we heard about multiple areas in Avalon, Mirage. We learned about No Door, which is an area in Avalon as well that we still haven't visited. We even learned about other worlds like Yago from the Tower of Hellfin instance. There are literally, I believe, 4 worlds that we had never heard about, or areas, I guess, until Wisteria came out. It literally teased and built hype for multiple things that came years down the line. That's that type of hype and free universe building that you just don't get from a main world. The main world has to stay on topic, and I feel like that severely limits the ability for us to learn more and more about the spiral that we spend so much time in. I think this can be said even more for Grizzleheim. In fact, I feel like they handled Grizzleheim so successfully that they literally almost had to retcon it back into the main world task line. If you guys are unfamiliar, right, the whole point of Grizzleheim is that there's an Everwinter coming, and that involves plot around the Ice Titan that simply you need to know, otherwise you don't understand how Grandmother Raven and Old Cobb and that entire plot actually matters in Imperia. What I'm trying to say is they did so well with integrating new things into the plot from a side world that it actually became a part of the main plot later down the line. And what I think that Grizzleheim did surprisingly well is that it's the only world in Wizard101 where the different areas correspond to very, very different level ranges. For example, right, someone going into like, you know, like, I don't know, Ravenscar, they're gonna have an extremely different experience. They're gonna have like a level 50 experience compared to someone going into the main area of Saverstad Pass, which will be like a level 20 experience. The difficulty scales up more and more all the way until you reach literally the next area, which is Tusk, and that scales up to, I want to say, way past level 60. Even though you can do this as level 60, I would say that you could be a level 70 and struggle with Tusk, honestly. To me, the idea that they were able to create such a convincing plot and create content across multiple levels, I feel like that says a lot about how successful a side world can be. In fact, I would go as far as saying that if they were to ever add a new expansion that isn't like the main quest line, they should 1,000,000,000% start in Tusk and keep going with the plot, right? Like right now, really what we've seen is 2 different instances where the Ice Titan is involved in an Everwinter. I think it would be dope for us to have like another showdown with them, except now it's like a level 160 level or a level 170 level situation. And speaking of the level that it's catered to, I think this is something that I cannot be understated enough. I think the whole like appeal to me of a side world is the fact that it doesn't have to be limited by the same, I think, the qualifications they normally use for a main world in terms of difficulty. I think right now Wiz is doing a weird-ass balancing act, I'm gonna be honest, with casual players and hardcore players. And that is just not an easy thing to do, right? Like, I feel like right now, probably 80 to 90% of the people that play this game, they are casual. That's not a reality that as someone who plays so much, I know I can't dismiss it, and I know that I want content that appeals to all of those people because those are the people that make the game alive and well. But a side world being optional, I think it circumvents that a lot. You have, honestly, fairly hard dungeons for the level like Nastron. Like, this is pretty hard to do as a level 60. World building and the difficulty of the world aside, I think this is another, like, the point that I'm about to make is also another reason that I think they should really consider this at, like, level 170, maybe, you know, maybe later. They can really justify well-rounded gear templates if they make another side world. And this is something that I don't even think we've really had since maybe like the Catacombs update, which I guess is side content. I feel like the way they added Catacombs like was really, really cool because you had the catacombs, and I believe we also had a world after that, and they were able to balance the gear in a really easy way, right? Like, people were able to use the Dragoon gear for years and years to come, but let's say they were a casual player, you could do something else. Winter Tusk is another really good example. The Winter Tusk crafted gear to this day is something that a lot of players use as they quest through the game. You have a reason to add extremely well-rounded gear that could be used in PvP or in PvE for a long time after, because that's the whole point, right? If it's side content, you don't have to do it. You can actually make the rewards skew in the favor of the player more. I think when people talk about updates that they were excited for, I always hear them talking about things like Winter Tusk and Grizzleheim, and I don't know, maybe it's just a nostalgia speaking. To this day, I still remember like the day I woke up and Winter Tusk dropped. I know that it was like a surprise drop, and I was stoked because I was all for this. I love the plot of this whole thing. I think the Ice Titan's my favorite. Maybe that's why. But what I ended up receiving was miles beyond that. The whole Grandmother Raven plot line, the actual, like, the idea that there are big forces, even at level 60, that we could, like, you know, be exposed to. The power scaling felt both, you know, like, I don't know, it felt realistic to some degree, but it also felt like, yeah, the wizard could get more powerful. Like, it gave you a glimpse. I think the thing with Lemuria and Karamah and all of that is now we're in the realm of universal forces, right? Like, Old Cobb and Grandmother Raven to actually interfere with something they were doing and to actually fight the Storm Titan. I think stuff like that makes the main plot line get carried away a lot. It would be really cool to have a side world that, like, I don't know, reassess power levels and everything and gave us a view of us that's not so all-powerful and also gives us a glimpse of the future again, just like Winter Tusk did. I think we're sorely overdue for side content. I hope that we do. I mean, there's so many places they could start. They could start with the downfall of Azteca. They could talk about why the wizard is from Earth, because we really don't have a good answer on that. Now that Novus has actually established some connections with Wiz and Pirate, we could have a whole side world that is more about the pirate. What about, like, you know, visiting something that's only known in Pirate 101 right now? Why not? There's so many directions they could go. I really hope that, you know, maybe they find a way to sneak that in with the main world content, because I think that would be elite. At the very least, I think they should at least consider giving people that are, you know, new to the game a taste of these worlds. And that's kind of like what I want to say to end the video. I think the neglect doesn't have to, like, you know, continue anymore if you really want it to stop. Every time they have, like, a whole event where they have the whole arc, the first arc free, why don't they add Grizzleheim to that? It makes no sense for them not to add Wisteria or Grizzleheim. If the first arc is free, then the idea is that you can get to level 50 for free. So why not experience the worlds that every other person that, you know, played the game up to level 50 experiences? I guarantee you they would have more playtime if they did that, and they would see even more reason to build on the universe more outside of main content across multiple level ranges, just like they've done in the past. The fact that side content isn't included in the first free arc events is probably the singular most missed opportunity, and it would probably give them the numbers that they need to justify putting in the time and effort to make content like this. I feel like it's a win-win for everybody. So that's definitely something I think they should seriously consider. Just my hot take, my 2 cents. But let me know what you guys think. Do you guys think that the reasons that I like side worlds are valid? Like, I feel like the world building, the gear, and the difficulty, these are the things that appeal to me a ton. Or do you guys think there's other reasons? Or maybe you're of the opinion that side worlds are outdated, and maybe you just look forward to the main world, and that's fine too. Let me know y'all's opinions in the comments. I look forward to reading all of them. As always, if somebody hasn't told you you're awesome today, they doing something wrong. I'll see y'all soon, man. Stay awesome, y'all. And yeah.